All right, we're going to do matchup number 5 of Week 5, and we have Team Wolfjaw at Mayhem. Both teams are 1-3, and we're going to jump right into it and break the teams down. Quarterback, we got Jay Cutler and Joe Flacco. Tom Brady's been not performing well, so Dad made a change there to go with Flacco. Flacco's actually been doing pretty good, surprisingly. With Steve Smith coming back, that's been a big part of that, but I still have to give Jay Cutler an advantage. He's a top 5 fantasy quarterback right now, and so I'm going to lean in favor of Wolfjaw for that matchup. Now, the running backs, you have Fred Jackson and LaShawn McCoy, and then Jamal Charles and Rashad Jennings. McCoy going up against St. Louis is a good matchup, and Fred Jackson at Detroit is not a good matchup. McCoy's had 2 really bad games back-to-back, but maybe I think he might bounce back against St. Louis and have a decent game.
But I think it's going to happen.
Yeah, he's eventually going to break through. Now, Charles did break through last week, had a monster game against New England, had 28.8 fantasy points. But this week he's going up against San Francisco, and San Francisco just held LaShawn McCoy to 1.7 fantasy points. And Darren Sproles didn't have any success either. He only got 6 fantasy points because return touchdown. So Jamal Charles is going to be put to the test this next week, and that's a really tough matchup. Now, my dad does have Rashad Jennings against Atlanta, and the Vikings, Asiata and Jerick McKinnon, just put up 200-plus yards and 3 touchdowns on them last week, so I think that's a great matchup. And Rashad Jennings got the rest last week because of the Thursday night game, and Andre Williams took over for him, so I think Jennings comes in fresh and goes to work on Atlanta. So I'm going to give my dad an advantage with Charles and Jennings. Then at the wide receiver spot, we have Golden Tate and Alshon Jeffrey versus Antonio Brown and Terrence Williams. Antonio Brown is probably the number 1 fantasy receiver right now, and I don't think that's going to stop because this week he gets Jacksonville, which is a killer matchup. He got 26 points last week, and he could probably get like 30 plus this week. Jeffrey has been kind of off to a slow start, had 2 decent games back to back, and Tate's been slowly getting better, but still hasn't got the end zone. I think he probably gets there this week. But you can't overlook Antonio Brown, so advantage to my dad at the wide receiver spot.
You got to give Terrence Williams some credit. He went off last week.
Yeah, Terrence Williams had a great game last week.
And if they put double coverage on Des Bryant, which any smart team really would, I mean, there's a possibility that Terrence Williams gets at least 1 TD, so I'm still going to add that to Antonio Brown, who's going to go off and at least get 2 TDs against Jacksonville, in my opinion.
Either way, advantage to my dad on wide receivers for sure. Then at the tight end spot, we have Julius Thomas and Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce has been playing great, but it's not enough to beat out Julius Thomas because Julius Thomas is awesome.
Yeah, but he's
Julius Thomas.
It is Arizona, but like Levi mentioned earlier, Patrick Peterson's going to be all over Demaryius Thomas. I mean, he might switch to Julius Thomas, be on the right Thomas, but I mean,
no, he'll be on him or Emmanuel Sanders
the entire time. Yeah. So Julius Thomas should have a monster game if Welker doesn't creep in and maybe get a couple of those catches.
Yeah. So. And then in the flex, we have Isaiah Crowell versus Shane Vereen. Shane Vereen has been really kind of so-so this year, and now he's going up against a pretty good Cincinnati defense. I don't think he's going to do much. And Crowell's going to be limited because he's going to be competing with Tate coming back, and we don't know how West is going to pan out. I don't really think you're getting much fantasy value out of either guys, and I don't know. It's kind of a wash for me.
No, I would say Vereen
has more upside.
Vereen has more upside simply because it's him and Ridley more so than Bolton being thrown into the mix. And on top of that, I mean, Crowell gets more in the passing game, but with Tate coming back, I think it really kind of depletes his value. I mean, you could probably see 1 or 2 catches maybe going Crowell's way, or maybe a possible goal line vulture TD, but chances are it's not happening this week.
Well, since it's against Tennessee, there might be some chance that if he gets a touchdown. In that case, Crowell would be an advantage.
Yeah, if he does, it's going to be a reception touchdown, and it's a 1%, 2% chance, probably.
Then we have the 2 defenses going at each other. We have the Bengals against New England and the Patriots defense against Cincinnati. Cincinnati is undefeated, and the Patriots just got negative 4 points against the Chiefs.
Bengals.
Bengals defense is the advantage.
Bengals.
So that's really the one advantage plus Julius Thomas for Eric, but all the other advantages are leaning towards
wait.
my dad.
We have an odd situation here. The kickers are on the opposing teams too.
Oh,
we never talk about kickers.
Well,
Robbie Gould's probably going to get it.
Who cares about the kickers?
Oh, come on.
All right. But anyway, there's an advantage at the quarterback position for Wolfjaw and tight end and defense, but the advantage goes to my dad's side everywhere else, so I'm going Mayhem with this pick.
Mayhem.
All right. Mitchell?
I'm going with Eric.
What?
I'm going with Eric.
And based on projection, it is the upset pick.
Yep.
All right, so 1 pick for Wolfjaw and 2 picks for Mayhem.
Beat his ass,
we're
Daddy.
We're going
Beat his ass.
for our dad, I guess.
Finally has a good game.